What if the most important person you'll ever meet is someone your soul already recognizes? Someone quietly moving toward you, not with fanfare, but with sacred inevitability? Not a fantasy, not a twin flame obsession, but a mirror. A soul that arrives not to complete you, but to awaken you to the truth of who you already are. There are moments in life, quiet, tremoring moments, when something within begins to stir. You can't explain it. You feel a restlessness you can't name, a kind of emotional static in the air. You start dreaming more vividly. Random strangers speak truths that land like thunder. You're not going crazy. You're preparing. This video isn't about chasing a perfect love story. It's about recognizing the four subtle but powerful signs that you are about to meet someone who will transform you. Not by saving you, but by reflecting you, deeply and irrevocably. This is the soul's alchemy. Before we dive into the signs, we must understand this. Not all life-changing meetings look like destiny at first. Carl Jung, the great depth psychologist, believed such encounters are orchestrated by the unconscious mind, not random, but deeply archetypal. When the psyche is ready, when you've done the work, the outer world shifts. It sends someone who doesn't fix you, but activates you. This person might not arrive as a romantic partner. They could be a friend, a mentor, a stranger you meet on a park bench who says something that unravels years of internal knots. They may not stay long, but their presence will split your timeline in two, before them and after. The first sign you're nearing such a soul encounter? Your inner world begins to rearrange itself. This change is almost imperceptible at first, like furniture quietly shifting in a dark room. You wake up feeling like something's off. You no longer resonate with your usual routines. People and patterns that once comforted you feel stale. Desires surface that don't match your current life. This isn't depression. It's preparation. Jung taught that transformation begins in the unconscious long before the outer change arrives. You're not falling apart. You're being cleared out. The soul is tuning itself, like an instrument, to a new melody. And this melody? It can't be played alone. This is sacred disorientation. It's the sign that your soul is making space for someone who will arrive, not to decorate your life, but to change its architecture. The second sign appears in your outer world. Synchronicities begin to intensify. You keep hearing the same name. A song from childhood plays in 3 different places in one day. You dream of a stranger's face and then feel drawn to a coffee shop you've never visited. A friend says something that echoes your private thoughts. Jung called these experiences synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that reveal the psyche's hidden hand. These aren't just curiosities. They're signs your inner and outer worlds are sensing up. When you're close to meeting someone who will change you, life itself begins to communicate. Not in words, but in echoes, patterns, nudges. It's the soul's GPS. The breadcrumbs don't always lead to the person directly, but they lead you to the version of yourself who is ready for that meeting. Ignore them, and you may miss the turning point. Follow them, and you step closer to the encounter your soul has long prepared for. Before you meet this soul, you'll face another one, your own. This third sign is not comfortable, but it's essential. You begin to confront your hidden parts, fears, wounds, regrets. You feel tender, exposed. You may revisit painful memories or find yourself yearning for things you thought you'd outgrown. This is the shadow rising, the unacknowledged self. Jung said that the people who move us most are mirrors. But before we can recognize them, we must first look honestly at our own reflection. This stage is not about fixing everything. It's about meeting yourself raw, vulnerable, unguarded. You begin softening your inner masculine or feminine energy. You admit what you long for. You let go of what no longer serves you. Only from this honest place can the soul who reflects your evolving self arrive. Not because you're perfect, but because you're true. And then, unexpectedly, the fourth sign arrives, a deep calm, a quiet knowing. You stop chasing. You stop obsessing. You stop wondering if you're lovable. Instead, something within you settles. There is no urgency. Just readiness, stillness, peace. This is Jung's idea of the self becoming conscious, the soul stepping into wholeness. You realize the love you thought was out there has already been awakened in you. From this place, a magnet of your soul activates. You no longer attract based on longing. You attract from authenticity. And the person who comes toward you will not fill a void. They will meet you at the overflow. Now, let's be clear. This person may not look like the ideal you imagined. They may not come dressed in romance or permanence. They may challenge you, trigger you, or stay only for a season. But what matters is this: they will awaken you. They will mark a turning point. Their presence will rearrange your inner landscape. They will not complete you, but they will reveal parts of you you had buried. They are a mirror, a key, a threshold. Jung said, "We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life." This meeting is one of those sacred disguises. So how do you prepare for this meeting? You stop seeking outward. You start listening inward. Spend time where your soul feels alive. Journal your truest desires. Don't ignore your dreams. Engage in therapy or creativity. Embrace solitude not as emptiness, but as sacred space. And most of all, do the shadow work. Face the parts of you you've hidden, not to be perfect, but to be real. Because the soul that's meant for you is not looking for someone flawless. They are listening for the vibration of truth. And your authenticity will be the frequency that draws them in. In the end, this isn't just about meeting them. It's about meeting you. When the life-changing soul arrives, whether for a moment or a lifetime, they will awaken a version of you that cannot be unawakened. You'll look back and realize this was never about falling in love. It was about rising in awareness. You became ready. You became whole. You became the person your future was waiting for. If something in your heart stirred while listening to this, if you felt seen, remembered, or strangely known, trust that. The soul already knows what the mind is just now understanding. And if you're on this path of deep transformation, you are not alone. Let this be your confirmation, your companion, your compass. Subscribe for more soul-aligned reflections and Jungian spiritual insights. Share your story in the comments. Have you felt any of these signs? And hit the bell to be reminded. You are on sacred ground. Until next time, listen closely. The soul is always speaking, and someone, somewhere, is already on their way.